Inuagata no Sahai is still my amiable name, and I'm just in the mood of celebration. I'm celebrating my 16th year on TMI, 16 years on This Morning on ITV. It started February 24th, 2010, and yesterday was exactly the 16 years on TMI. So I'm celebrating, and congratulations to me, and thank you to the management of Independent Television for creating the platform. I am so grateful. Now, on the 7th episode of the 7-week series we have been on, which is Driving Workplace Productivity with Emotional Intelligence, we are going to be zeroing on the emotional intelligence component of motivation. That is what we are going to be focusing on today. You know, emotional intelligence, as I've defined on this platform within the workplace context, as a boss, as a leader, is your ability, you know, to ensure workplace emotional stability with the knowledge of how to manage your emotion, and also the knowledge of how to manage the emotion of your people towards ensuring success, productivity in the work environment. And there are 5 components or pillars of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. And today, the focus is on motivation. So, within the arena of emotional intelligence, or in the school of emotional intelligence, what is motivation? You know, motivation in the school of emotional intelligence is different from the excitement you get from a seminar that quickly fades away. There are two different, school of thought, or there are two different meaning. You know, in the arena of emotional intelligence, in the school of emotional intelligence, motivation is the inner drive to achieve. Motivation is the inner drive to improve. Motivation is the inner drive to pursue excellence for the sake of achievement and for the sake of excellence. Motivation is the inner drive to achieve. Motivation is the inner drive to improve. Motivation is the inner drive to pursue excellence for the sake of excellence, which means that you don't necessarily need to wait for extrinsic reward, external reward, you know, before you do what you are supposed to do, before you bring your A game to the table. So in the arena of emotional intelligence, motivation is the intrinsic drive to go beyond expectation. This is very, very important. And you know, since we started this series, we have been looking at it from a case scenario perspective, using, you know, practical workplace situational case scenarios to bring this knowledge to light, so that you can see the practicality of, you know, emotional intelligence. And today, I'm equally going to do so with the emotional intelligence component of, you know, motivation. Remember, emotional intelligence is that inner drive. You know, emotional intelligence component of motivation is that inner drive to achieve, is that inner drive to improve, is that inner drive to pursue excellence for the sake of achievement and for the sake of excellence. Very important. Now, we have an interesting case scenario today on the emotional intelligence component of motivation. And this case scenario is on a state traffic management agency. So it's titled Exhibiting Emotional Intelligence of Motivation in a State Traffic Management Agency. So it goes thus. During the festive season, traffic in a busy Nigerian state became unbearable. Road construction, street trading, fuel queues, impatient commercial drivers, and aggressive motorists created daily gridlock at major junctions. Social media buzzed with complaints, radio stations criticized the agency, and public frustration was at a boiling point. Inside the traffic management agency, morale was dropping. Field officers worked long hours under the sun. Some were insulted daily. A few began reporting late. Others became harsh with motorists. Tension filled the air. Now, let's see leadership in action in this case scenario. At the center of the agency was a director of operations. Rather than reacting defensively, he demonstrated emotional intelligence component of motivation, which is the inner drive to pursue goals with resilience, optimism, and discipline focus despite pressure. He called an emergency meeting. Instead of blaming officers, He acknowledged their challenges. He reminded them of the agency's core mandates, which are saving lives, reducing accidents, and restoring order. He shared data showing that consistent officer presence slightly reduced crashes. He reframed the narrative from public insult to public expectation. In other words, he was able to reframe the mind of his officers that what appear as public backlash on the job they were doing is actually public expectation. Now, he introduced practical measures, which includes rotating high-pressure posts, providing short rest breaks, weekly recognition for outstanding conduct, public commendation for teams handling difficult intercessions. Now, an astounding one from him. He personally visited major junctions during peak hours, standing alongside officers to encourage them. This is leadership. This is motivation from the operations director of operations in the state traffic management agency. He personally visited major junctions during peak hours, standing alongside officers to encourage them. Very important. Then a turnaround happened. Gradually, officers who were discouraged regained commitment. They became more professional and traffic flow improved slightly. Public perception began to shift, with radio callers acknowledging better officer conduct. The roads remained busy and fuel scarcity persisted, but internal motivation changed performance, and performance changed results. So let's see 3 key lessons from this case scenario of this particular Nigerian state management traffic, government traffic management agency. 3 key lessons on emotional intelligence component of motivation from the case scenario. Number 1, as a leader, learn to anchor motivation internally, not externally. Connect work to purpose. And the director of operations in this particular state government traffic management agency, he was able to connect work to purpose. In this case scenario, it involves saving lives and serving the public. And then, secondly, the second lesson on this emotional intelligence component of motivation from this case scenario is that resilience is essential. Amid constant pressure, emotionally intelligent leaders stay focused and show the team that challenges are temporary. It's not going to last forever. It's just for us to be able to do the right thing, diagnose the problem properly, then do the right thing. Then the third lesson, motivation spreads from the top. This is just so important. Leaders' energy and disciplined commitment inspire others, while reactive leadership quickly demoralizes. So in conclusion, in our institutions, technical skills control systems, but emotionally intelligent motivation sustains effort. In a country where challenges are visible every day, sustained effort is often the difference between chaos and gradual progress. And this is where the emotional intelligence component of motivation is very key. It cannot be overemphasized. Now remember what the emotional intelligence component of motivation is. It is the inner drive to achieve. It is the motivation to improve. It is the inner drive to pursue excellence for the sake of achievement and excellence. And that is exactly what the director of operation in this particular Nigerian state government traffic management agency was able to do. And this is what we should all imbibe as leaders. This is very, very important. I strongly believe that profound value have been practically added to your day this morning. I know you want to connect with me as you have been doing, and so through my email, inuagata@gmail.com, send your inquiries, send your questions, and then I'm able to provide answers to you that can help you to become better emotionally intelligent. Then you become a better leader, create a better workplace, build a better environment for us all to live in, and then we are living in a better world. I'll be seeing you next week Wednesday, and when I return, I will still be the amiable Inuagata no Sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.